Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today we're going to talk about Rogue kind of being out of control in ladder and why it's happened, what needs to be done about it, if anything, and talk about my take on it. But before we get into that, again, I want to thank everybody. We've actually gone on from the 58% of you guys that are subbed to 59%. And man, could we hit 60%? That would be an incredible, weird milestone. I haven't seen that before. But again, I want to thank you all for hitting that sub button, supporting the channel. It's been ridiculous. The numbers keep going up, and well, I'm just super grateful. Anyways, let's take a look and talk about Rogue being kind of out of control. And well, we're loaded up HS replay here, and what am I talking about? Rogue being out of control. We got Warrior on top, and Rogue's number 3. What am I talking about? Well, this is across all ranks. And then the last few days, the last week in particular, Rogue has absolutely blown up on the ladder. And if you take a look at the meta, I'm an HS Replay Premium member, so I have access to all these stats. Not sponsored, by the way. I just really enjoy their service. And if you take a look, this is Hearthstone 22.0, since these are all stats since the latest patch. But if you update it, you can see like Libram Paladin, Quest Warrior, Diamond through Legend, right? If you take a look at top 1000 Legend, well, you're seeing a lot of Rogue. And if you update it to the last 3 days, it's a lot of Rogue. And then you see Diamond through Legend, it's starting to leak through. People always ask me, why do you use the top 1000 Legend numbers? Because it's always ahead of the curve. And the best stuff basically is always played at high legend, and then it kind of trickles down. There's a trickle down effect, and you're seeing it already, right? Since the last 3 days, we've seen Rogue is a lot more popular, and that is shown even more so if you take a look at the meta breakdown, the popularity at all ranks. And we can take a look at this graph here that shows that Legend rank in the last 3 days, it's over 25% Thief Rogue. So 1 in 4 games you're queuing at Legend ladder, you're facing a Thief Rogue. And the second most popular deck after that is Poison Rogue. That's the weapon rogue, right? At around 9%, combining for like 35% popularity at Legend. A third of your games in Legend ladder are against Rogue, but that's even popular, like 22% at Diamond 1, 19, 16, and it drops down as you go down the ranks. But just again, take a look at 22.0, it was all Quest Warrior. Quest Warrior was popular, and it's just because Thief Rogue has become so optimized that people have figured out these builds that just break the game. And well, what exactly is busting the game? What is so good about these decks? Well, let's take a look at one of the most popular builds. This is 71,000 games, decent sample size. What are the bad matchups for Thief Rogue? First off, you want to take a look at that. Why do people want to play it? Well, it beats every Demon Hunter deck. It beats every Druid deck, every Hunter deck. It beats every Mage deck. It loses to Libram Paladin barely at 48%. It beats every Priest deck. It beats every Rogue deck, including itself, because this is the optimal build. Beats every Shaman deck. It loses to Quest Hand Warlock, and it beats every Warrior deck. It beats everything. On average, Thief Rogue just doesn't really have a bad matchup. It doesn't have a bad matchup. And if you're looking at the cards themselves, you could take a look at what are like the big abusers. What's really good in the mulligan win rate, right? Well, Wild Paw Knoll, the 0 mana 4/5 on 2 has a 62% win rate when kept in the opener, and it's kept almost 100% of the time. Who is not keeping this? I want to know who these 1.2% of people are. But basically, if Wild Paw Knoll in your hand in the opener, you basically win the game 2/3 of the time just by having that in your opener. And that's the big abuser. You have Cutlass, which lets you basically cycle and mana cheat some spells and get your Knoll quicker. You have a double agent. Again, when you have Maester active, it's always active. And yeah, basically Maester is activating all these broken synergies. And if you look at the Burgle, the thief aspect of the deck, what Burgle stuff do you have? You have Swashbuckler, you have Wand Thief, and you have Reconnaissance. Nothing below 2 mana, and that's it. You're not resummoning any of the stuff with like the the 5 mana spell, nothing like that. It's barely a Burgle deck. It is just using the bare minimum to abuse Wild Paw Knoll, to abuse Double Agent, and that's it. And the rest is just a tempo deck where you have like the most broken hero card. If you look at Shadowcrafter Scabs, you keep this in your opener, 57% win rate, keeping this 7 cost hero card in your opener. That's how ridiculous it is. So Rogue basically right now with the optimal build, has the best draw in the game with Secret Passage, Swindle, Edwin as well. It has the best draw in the game. It has the best mana cheat in the game in Wild Paw Knoll. It has the best early stat bomb in the game with Double Agent. It has arguably the best hero card in the game with Shadowcrafter Scabs, and it also has incredible finishers like Mr. Smite, comboed with an Edwin, has incredible burn with Wicked Stab, can do 2 mana Fireball late in the game, and it's usually less than that because of Blackwater Cutlass. Rogue basically does everything, and the only weakness they really had going into this expansion was board clears and taunts. And well, they have the best board clear in the game arguably now in Scabs, and you know what are really good taunt minions? Death Rattles from other classes. So all of a sudden they have a lot of taunts. The only thing Rogue is really lacking at all is healing, which they can get from Scabs and 5 armor, and if they get like a Wand Thief into Ice Barrier, right? And taunts, of course. So Rogue basically has everything, can't do everything, and is beating everything. And this was noted by Vicious Syndicate in their latest data reader per report. Thief Rogue has exploded, the most popular deck at across I think this is all ranks. They have it at all ranks, and you take a look at top 1000 legend, it's just Rogue City, and you can take a look at their spike they show here of Rogue. It is just incredible, and the matchup spread is nuts. They just recognize Rogue as the only top tier deck. And even I noted Aveline, top Hearthstone pro player, she faced 50% Rogue in her recent thing, and she's pretty tilted over it. And Kibler even talked about today having a good run on Legend Ladder, but facing 35% Rogue from like around top 1000, top 500 Legends. So there you go. That just kind of shows you how crazy Rogue has gotten. And yeah, what's kind of enabling it is those cards. And I want to give my take on it. Like, I know I complained a lot about like Quest Warlock, the Demon Seed, all these things from United and Stormwind. And for me, yes, the deck is dominant. Yes, it's seeing a ton of play. I do think it needs to be dialed back. We did our nerf prediction thing where I think Wild Paw Knoll should probably get dialed back. Scabs could get dialed back. But at the end of the day, Thief Rogue is a fun deck to play. It's a deck that fights for board. It cares about board with Double Agents, with Wild Paw Knolls. It has reach, it has a finisher, but you know, you can out armor it, you can taunt against it. There's counters in essence. It's so ridiculously consistent and good, it beats everything on average. So I'm not gonna go on some big tirade that, you know, this deck is broken and needs to be destroyed and it's bad for the game, because I don't think Thief Rogue is bad for the game. It can be a lot of fun to play, and again, it does Hearthstone things. It fights for board, it does burn combos, but at the end of the day, it's a Hearthstone deck, and it's a bit overtuned. I think it could be dialed back, but I think this type of deck I would like to be broken in the meta, that I can you know, at least try and counter with other stuff. I just don't feel terrible facing this. I can get triggered by the random or the Zero Paw Knolls or the Zero Mana Knolls. That can be upsetting, but overall, like, at least I feel like we're on a better track of what's broken in the game, and it's easy to adjust to a lot of this stuff, right? Like, it's just mana cost stuff, and Secret Passage, by the way, will be rotating in a few months, and that will be amazing to see what Rogue will look like other than that. So, and if I was to complain about anything, it would be the other Rogue deck, Weapon Rogue, which is just only cares to hit you in the face, doesn't develop minions. Heck, this list I think runs one minion that has spell damage and an ooze for tradable, probably for the mirror. Other than that, it just hits you in the face. And if anything, I would want to gut a deck like this because it's so uninteractive, so unfun to face. And I mean, you can counter it with a Viper, that is true, but overall, really frustrating experience. But yeah, Rogue is kind of out of control. So if you're running into a ton of Rogue, well, you'll kind of understand why. It is dominating at all levels. And again, I would like to see it dialed back. I'd like to see Knoll, Scabs, something like that dialed back. But overall, I'm just going to say it. I don't think it's horrible for the game. I don't think it makes Hearthstone an unplayable, you know, frustrating mess of like, it's not the Demon Seed. I'll take pretty much Thief Rogue over any United and Stormwind dominant deck out there, and I guess that's a good complaint to have. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, or you know, what you think about Rogue being so good, if you would want to see dial back, if you're okay with it, any of that stuff. I'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.